Hi, I'm Matt Rycraft. I'm working with Professional Photo to deliver a 6-part business series, and we're going to talk about marketing, branding, pricing, and everything to do about your business to make sure that you have an incredible year. Through mentoring photographers over the years, I've always found that marketing's always been their weakest point. Marketing is the activity a business makes to communicate and attract an audience into purchasing their product or service. So the key word there is communicate. Marketing is communicating your services, your products to your audience. But it's really important that you define your audience. Who is your target audience? Who is your perfect customer? When you're looking to market your business, you want to think about what you want to achieve from the campaign. This could be what you're going to achieve from the social media post. Why are you making the post? Is it to show off a fancy photograph? Is it to educate the audience? Have you won an award? Are you letting them know of a special offer? Have you got something really important to tell them? So when you're making a post on social media, have a think about what you want to achieve from the post. What is it you want the reader or the viewer to get out of it? This will make sure that you always post quality content. Reach is also really important. How are you going to reach the audience? Now, it's easy to post it on your social media channels. That's really quick. But are there other ways to reach your perfect customer? Can you build relationships with, if you're a wedding photographer, a venue or a wedding dress shop? If you're a headshot photographer, maybe speak to a conference organizer that's got access to lots of businesses where employees might need headshots. Maybe you could post some of this information in Facebook groups. If you're a food photographer, maybe there's a group for restaurateurs. In the past, I've worked with the council and they've delivered an email to all the hotels in the area offering services for me to go in and take pictures of the rooms. So have a think about who you can speak to that's going to give you access to the type of customer you want. It's also really important that you understand your value proposition. And this is how you compare yourself to your competitors. Your value proposition is the value your business gives to a potential customer. Are you cheaper? You might be more expensive, but your work might be better. You might deliver images really quickly. You might have better editing techniques. So understanding your USP, your unique selling point, and how you compare to your competitors is really going to help you understand the kind of messages that you want to push out on all your social media channels, on your website, when you're networking and speaking to people. And make sure your marketing are aligned with your business goals, how much you want to earn, whether this is just a secondary job to earn additional income. This is all really important for you to understand where your business is going, how you want to market your business, and the prices you're going to charge. This is all part of your marketing message. So one of the first things I want to discuss is your website. As a general rule, whenever you're broadcasting information onto, say, social media or articles, they're always going to be directed back to your website because that's where a potential client is going to purchase or at least read about the products that you're selling. So making sure your website is as professional as it possibly can be is incredibly important and should absolutely form part of your marketing strategy. So I want to discuss some key elements on your website that you should consider to make sure that you maximize the potential of anybody getting in touch. You need to make sure you're answering customers' questions. Now, your website isn't your biography, nor is it your CV, though some of those elements obviously should be included in there if you've won awards, let's say. But a client isn't really interested in reading a CV or how good you think you are. They really want to be reading the answers to the questions for the service they're looking for. So if you've got written content on your homepage, make sure you get straight to the point of why they should book you. Really think about your USPs and why you're so much better than your competitors. There are a few other key elements that should be improved on your website. You really should have a professional photo of you on your website. So make sure you've got a self-portrait that indicates the quality of work that you deliver. Make sure there's a section on there that tells them about you and what you do. This doesn't have to be on the homepage, like I said. You could have a separate page for this. But make sure your personality comes across, your work ethics. Are you fun? Are you just really professional? Give them a bit of a background about you. People like to know who they're dealing with, and especially with a small business, they want to get to know you. Is your telephone number on your website? Is it at the top of the website? Is it easy for them to find? I always make sure that when I'm speaking to my students that the contact form or the telephone number is always visible on the website. So all the client needs to do is click the button, either send you an email or make a phone call. And have a think about the number that's on your website. Is it maybe more professional to have, say, an 03 or an 01 or an 08 number on there as opposed to a mobile number? These are the actions that a potential client will make to get in touch with you. So make sure that they are really visible. And with contact forms, typically the rule of thumb is to have 3 on a page somewhere. Research suggests that a client will need to see a contact form 3 times, yes, 3 times, before they complete it and fill it out. I tend to have a couple of simple forms and a detailed form on one of my pages. So maybe at the very top, you could just have get in touch email address, and maybe on the footer, you could do the same. And then somewhere in the content, you can have a more detailed, tell me about your inquiry form. And the reason why you would do this is that you want to make it as easy as possible for that customer to get in touch with you. And ultimately, is your web page professional? Are you using the very best images in your portfolio? Something that I see quite a lot with photographers, because we all love our work, is that we tend to put too many pictures on our homepage or maybe our gallery page, when really maybe 10 or 15 would just be enough so the client gets a taste of the quality of your work. So make sure that you're not over diluting the images on your website. Choose the very best pictures. And a really good tip here is to take a look at your social media pages, your Instagram and your Facebook pages, and take a look at those pictures that had the most comments or the most likes. That for me, as a general rule of thumb, means that the audience love those pictures. Number 2 in my marketing tips is post valuable content. There's a very good book called They Ask and You Answer, and it's definitely worth a read. And the principles are that, are you answering the questions that the customer is looking for when they're dropping onto your website? I don't just generally mean have a Q&A, which you should have. You should have a Q&A, and they're just basic questions. But what I'm saying is the information on your website, is it giving valuable content to the person that's reading it to help them understand whether or not you're a perfect photographer for them and their business? And this could be the style of your photography. As a wedding photographer, do you work in the background or do you set up a lot of shots? And also maybe how quick you can turn around images, whether the images are completely retouched or they may be more natural. Do you bring lighting? All these questions that a customer may ask, you need to make sure is included within the content of your website or web page. A really good tip here is to have a think about the conversations or the inquiries that you've had over email and make sure that if they're asking any questions and you don't have the answer to that on your website, you could be missing out on a potential inquiry. So posting content is making sure that you understand your target audience, what we spoke about before. And posting valuable content is about answering those customers' questions. So try and find some articles that maybe your potential client might find interesting. This is going to help make you an authority within your area and in your industry. And third on the list is testimonials. Using testimonials within your marketing is incredibly powerful. And that's because testimonials are genuine. People tend to trust them a lot more. You can use testimonials or Google reviews within the content on your website, and you can use them for your social media posting as well. And if you want to use them within social media posting, just take a small extract and use them in conjunction with pictures you've taken for the client or of the client, and that'll give them way more validity. So maybe make contact with a few of your old customers and see if they'll just do a 30-second review on how well you did for them when they booked you for that job. It's easier than you think. And if you want to stand out from your competitors, video testimonials are definitely the way forward. I'd suggest that you ask 10 of your old customers, and hopefully just 2 or 3 of them will just say yes. They're amazing for your reputation. And cross-purposing this content is absolutely critical to make the most out of your marketing. So when you're building a Q&A on your website, make sure you post it on your social media. If you're asking for testimonials, make sure you post the videos or the extracts from Google on your social media. And if you've written a paragraph on your website that you believe has answered a question for a potential client, make a post about it on social media and link it back to your website. Hopefully you found these 3 things really useful and you can apply them immediately. And I look forward to seeing you on part 2.